Hi guys, it's me, Nana. As you can see, I've been a busy little bee working in my craft room. I've been attempting to do birthday cards with Dollar Tree stickers. Now, I say attempting to, but I must tell you, it wasn't much work at all. In fact, it was quite easy. But let's start at the beginning, and that is our card base. Now, the card bases I created are standard A2 cards. They're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to be using these 3 sticker packs from Dollar Tree, and they are all about happy birthday. So the first one I decided to create, again, is the standard size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm using the sticker paper. And I decided the first one that I make will have the zoo creatures, right? So the first one is going to be the zebra, and we're going to create it as simple as possible just to show you how quickly they can come together. Now again, I am using as few materials that I can outside of the Dollar Tree. So here we have the sticker paper, the glitter paper with a sticker pack that's a simple banner that says happy birthday, and we're just going to put it across the sheet, and we're going to affix the zebra. Basically, it's going to be a side open card, and I decided that the simpler the better. So you can actually do this with your children, your grandchildren. It's super simple, and when you're done, it feels really good. So again, it's just a simple card. I'm not using any of the other adhesive. However, on this one, what I wanted to show you was how each individual thing that we use affects the outcome. Now, this is regular cardstock that I got from Michael's. It's the Recollections brand, and it's about $2 on sale for 50 sheets. And those 50 sheets equate to 100 cards because you simply cut them in half. So an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper becomes a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. Now, I'm using glue, though, to affix the glitter paper. And what that does to that paper, because the cardstock, it's 65 pound, it kind of warps it. And I wanted you to see the end product here. You can use it, but it doesn't come out as professional, shall we say, as the 110 pound paper, or the paper that you buy, or even an 80 pound paper, which I've used 80 pound paper as well. And glue, especially, the amount of glue you need to use to affix the glitter paper can be more than, enough to warp the paper. So, okay, I finished the top, and I'm just putting a simple sentiment on the inside, and basically that's it. But you can see the warping at the bottom. I wanted you to see that. Here we are on our second sheet of paper, which is created just a little different, and we're going to go with that little Peekaboo circle using one of the essentials if you're thinking about building up your craft supplies or card making supplies. It's this. It's a stitch circle set. All the main brands make these. They're kind of called infinity circle die cuts. And I'm just getting one that I know my rhinoceros will fit in. Now, that's a little bit too small. It'll be too snug to add other elements. So I'm going with just a little bit larger circle. And we're going to make a hole in the card, in the glitter paper, to create a peekaboo for our rhinoceros. Now, we're also going to need a frame around that circle. So what you do is you get a circle die cut just above the size of the one that you're using. So as you can see, I'm choosing the the circle die cut just above the one that I have. And what that will do is create a frame to go around his peekaboo hole. So the main reason for that is to give definition, number one, but also give that circle opening some strength. Now we're going to cut it open with the second thing that is essential if you're going to be making cards, and that is the die cutting machine. In this case, I'm using the Cuttlebug, and it came with everything I need to make my first cut. So we're just going to place it on the A plate, the embossing rubberized mat, and the 2 A plates. So we're just, or excuse me, the 2 B plates. We're just going to run it through to make the actual frame. And later on, we'll run it through to make the peekaboo hole. So these are the things that, again, make it a lot of fun to make cards, because as in anything, if you have the essential tools, you can do almost anything. So the die cutting dies, the circle dies, are one of the essential things. And I would also suggest maybe the square or the rectangular infinity dies. These are just basic things that we can use to make our card making that much more enjoyable, relaxing, but it doesn't take a whole lot. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get the essentials. So I've cut the peekaboo hole and the, as you can see, the outer, shall we say, frame. And then I'm just going to put the base color onto the base card. And I'm using tape this time, and I'm using the Dollar Tree tape. It's double-sided and very strong, perfect for all your needs. And then I'm going to glue the frame around his peekaboo hole. I should have probably made it a different color just to show more definition, but you know, there it is. Okay, now this is that mounting foam tape that I've been talking and singing the praises of all these weeks, because it saves you so much money. It helps you give definition and height to any card that you're making, because you can put your embellishments on it. And in this case, we're doing it as a lift to his peekaboo hole so that he has an area to come out of. So we're just going to tape it on there, put him in the center, and then add a few embellishments to give it interest and all that kind of fun speak. But in the end, what we're talking about is making it look a lot more professional. But even when you add up all the elements that we're using to create this card, in the end, you're spending less than if you would have purchased a card that had the same kinds of things. In fact, this is going above and beyond what you might be able to get at a store that you'd pay $7 to $8 for, depending on where you get it. Now, the last time I purchased a birthday card, I spent $6, and it was basic, very basic, and it didn't have all the fun features that we see here. So again, creating this for a birthday party, by the time you purchase your happy birthday card and the wrapping paper and the gift, you've almost spent as much on the wrapping paper and the card as you did the gift. So this is really a craft that kind of pays for itself. Now, in this case, my circle dies have stitching around them, but you can't really see it when we're using the glitter paper. But if I were to use regular cardstock, then you would really see the difference. But anyway, we're just going to put a simple embellishment in here. In this case, it's just going to be the cupcake, because we've said everything on the front. A lot of times, people who make handmade cards, they don't even put anything in the center, so you have all that space to write what you want to say. So there's card 1, and that's the end of card 2. And we're going to move on to an even more fun, to create card, and we call it the shaker card. The shaker card is a lot of fun. It's very popular right now, and it doesn't take much more than what we already did to card number 2. The difference here is we get to put some sequins in our little shaker area, and to do so, we just need acetate. And acetate sheets you can buy, which in this case I did, but most of the time, and this is the first time I actually used a purchased acetate card, I usually just use the plastic that comes in the sticker or the stamp cards, sets that I buy. So anyway, here is the same procedure. We're going to create a peekaboo hole, and then we're going to create the oh, I forgot what I called it. Anyway, we're creating the liner that we put on the outside. And that again, this time gives interest, it gives it definition where you can see the delineation between the shaker part. Now here is the acetate that I bought, and I'm just going to cut it down to just above the size of the hole that we created. And then we're just going to tape it down. In this case, I'm just using some washi tape to hold it down and keep it in place. And then it's just like we did before. We're going to put the mounting foam tape on top of that, only we're going to cut it down and put it around the hole to create like a vessel for the sequins. And you'll see that in a second. So I'm just going to put down the adhesive foam tape. It's again double-sided, and I've created a little like bowl, so to speak, around that hole so that the sequins will have freedom of movement. And underneath that opening, I'm going to put some more of the stickers, again to give it depth and give it interest and somewhere for the sequins to shake around. So we're just making sure they stay within the opening of the hole. I'm putting in some sequins. I got this at Dollar Tree, and I'm kind of putting it in my little container at the same time so that I don't lose any pieces, which, by the way, this is a perfect little container I got at Dollar Tree. And as you can see, my sequins move freely because of the foam tape that we put in there. And then we're just going to tape on our little lion. I just love that little lion. And then we're going to make an embellishment. They have that nice little happy birthday banner, but it's kind of thin, so I thought I'd give it a little more interest again by creating a banner for it to be on top of. So I'm just cutting it down to size, and then a little trick here is you snip a little in the center and then you cut at an angle to the top of that little slit that you put in. Then it's just a matter of gluing it on. And when you're gluing anything onto glitter paper, you do want to use regular glue because the tape won't always hold it. And then again, just for a little interest, we're using these little, I call them Brad stickers, again from Dollar Tree. And it just gives a little more interest and a little balance to the embellishment that we used. And again, I'm just using the regular rolling tape, double-sided tape from Dollar Tree. And that's it, guys. That's, I believe, card number 3. And actually my favorite, because I just love a shaker card and kids just love to play with it. And I put a simple little embellishment, sending you smiles, always putting it a little above everything so you can write a nice little closing sentiment. Again, there's the pictures of it. It is my favorite and one of the most relaxing cards to make because it gives you a little interactive business going on. So here's the last one, and this one I made just to show you what you can do with different die cuts. This is one that I got from Paper Wishes a very long time ago, and it's a very common die, and that is of a birthday cake. because a lot of the cards that we make are birthday cards. So the first cutting, I cut it out of that green glitter paper, and then I cut some from a dark blue cardstock, and then I got, I believe, a light blue glitter paper and a red glitter paper. And what we're doing is called paper piecing, and I'll show you what that means in a little bit. I'm going to cut one little candle, and that again is from the die cut group or set. And I'm just cutting the pieces down, and then I'm going to glue them on the individual parts of the original die piece that I cut out. So we're going to make our cake with a lot of different colors. And then again, well, you don't have to do this, but of course it's just a lot of fun to create extra elements of interest and make the card extra special. So that's pretty much it. We're going to now do a background for our cake. And this is where our next element or the next essential would be good. And that is creating your own background. And I'm using the Distress Oxide inks. These are from Ranger, and they are absolutely the most fun since finger painting. And basically all I'm doing is taking the ink and using a foam painting brush basically, and laying the ink on the paper and blending the inks together. Now this is a special ink. It's not your regular stamping ink. They call it a hybrid because it has pigment inks as well as dye inks. And here's the magic. You spray it with plain old water out of a regular plain old spray bottle, and you see right away that the ink reacts to the water. Now, to create a focal area for our cake, I'm taking the lighter of the two colors, which is the peacock feathers, and I'm laying down some more ink to create kind of a halo that will be around the cake. So it gives it a definition because our cake is a little light, and I'm not going to be able to, enhance it anymore. So the halo effect is a lot of fun. And again, it centers the eye to put your eye where the actual focal point is. Now, I sprayed it again, and you can see what it did to the center of the card. I let it dry, and now I'm putting the darkest of the three inks that I'm using. This one is Seedless Preserves. Again, it is an oxide ink, one of those hybrid inks that blends very well. It's so thick and beautiful. I absolutely love it. But I wanted you to notice how dark it is when I first put it down. But as soon as the water hits it, it's like magic. And you see how it's lightened up quite a bit. So now I'm going to cut some of the edges off, about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch from two sides of the card. And that will give us a nice white border around this topper. You see that? So then it's just a matter of taping it down and taping all the paper pieces that we created for the cake. Again, this is just a fun way to add color, interest, definition, all those fun words I use again and again and again. Now, again, when we're gluing together the glitter papers, we really want to use glue and not tape because it tends to want to lift. Although the cardstock I'm putting on will hold itself up because of the glitter paper underneath it. So there's your cake. We're just going to put the candle on top, and then we'll put our elephant, and we'll put a few sequins around it, and basically that's it. That's your card. That's the 4 cards that we're creating out of those 3 sticker packs that we got. So that's $3 for 3 packs of stickers that would have cost us more just to buy one pack of stickers at the other stores. Again, once you start building up your card making tools, after a while they start paying for themselves, especially if you have a lot of birthdays that you go to, especially if you have a lot of grandchildren, children, children's friends, cousins, all those parties that we go to. They actually pay for themselves just in the cards that we buy every year. And don't even get me started on Christmas cards, not to mention all the fun that we have in creating them. So here we're just putting the last touches on our last birthday card, and that is the sequins, again from Dollar Tree. So much fun, guys. I can't tell you what a relaxing thing it is to take an afternoon, go into your craft supplies and just make some cards, especially if you know that birthday season is around the corner, or Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever season it is that we want to make cards. So I'm going to leave you here. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, let me show you again some of the supplies that we used. Those are the Distress Oxide inks. You can get those for between $5 and $6. There's your spray bottle. I paid for under $1. I think I paid 50 cents for that. The glitter paper, the sequins. This you can buy online on Amazon for, I believe, less than 10. The scissors. This glue is, I used the Dollar Tree glue. I just put it in a smaller container. And the savings on the foam mounting tape. Well, now, I'm showing you those makeup wedges because you can use those rather than buy those fancy sticks. Now, these are the, that is a Martha Stewart scoreboard and a Cricut paper cutter. And here I have some cards that I bought at Walmart just to show you that you can get those easily. But basically, you buy an 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it in half, and you've got the start of cards. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you give me a big old thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to my channel. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon because I've got another one around the corner. Bye for now.